today. As I watched the sizzle reel this morning of ISE, it's great to see some familiar faces there. We certainly all look forward to being back in person, potentially this June in Barcelona. Very much forward to being in person to be able to kind of talk, chat, look at trends face to face, and glad hand as well. So I want to share today some perspective from our research. As always, you remember from past RISE Spotlights perhaps that AVIXA does a great amount of research on the AV industry and focuses in on solution areas. So let's take a look at the impact that the pandemic has had on live events from the perspective of this research. We know that certainly this is a marketplace that's been very hard hit by the pandemic, as we've had to go into a closure mode, a lockdown mode in most economies throughout the world. So what this consultant graph is really trying to show you is two things. As you look from left to right, you're seeing industry solution areas that were the hardest hit by the pandemic. As you look close to the top, those are the industries that then the solution areas that recover fastest in 2020. So you can see live events here out of all solution areas was among the hardest hit in terms of revenues for the Pro AV sector. We're looking at about a 25% decline, and actually in final analysis, we think that things may be much worse. So the question is, when will this solution area truly recover, even though it's one of the fastest growing areas in 2021? You can really see the slump in the curve here as we looked at revenues, as you saw from the previous slide, from a global revenue perspective, 2020 down to $23 billion. It really takes a while for us to get out of that low period. We know events will come back. We're confident about that. We know revenues return as a result, and we see upside in things like hybridization of events. But it's really not until that 2024 period, where we really see revenues surpassing the peak that was 2019. As we'll see, the rate of recovery was really different by region. And that really reflects the impacts that we saw in the market, various markets, various regions, and their rate of recovery and return around events. EMEA, North America, of course, continuing to be in a lockdown mode, very little travel, very few events, but APAC and even in Europe now, we are starting to see a return. We expect, therefore, for 21 to be a bit better for EMEA, APAC, while the Americas still kind of comes back online. So 10, 11, possibly even 15 to 16% growth there as revenue returns. Once again, the story being about a long tail of recovery. But recovery is also linked to the types of technologies offered by providers, and those are largely back-end systems. So as we see from this slide, a large percentage of investment is in IT infrastructure to support hybridization of events. With that, I'm going to ask you to join me again for a breakout session later on. I have Matthew Thompson, Managing Director, owner of AV Team UK, to give us some actual market perspective. With that, back to you, Mar.